Hello everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. The reason for the shorter videos recently is that there haven't been any new chapters available for the manhwa. Since new chapters are released weekly, I always try to upload recap videos as soon as they come out. Thank you all for your continued support. Now, let's enjoy the video. The scene shifts to the classroom where, frustrated, Chloe sits alone after seeing Kong talking with other girls. Observing her expression, Kong senses that Chloe seems upset, but he recalls that Chloe was the one who had the box cutter earlier. Meanwhile, Chloe, visibly angered, wonders about Kang's relationship with those girls and if he might have feelings for any of them. Suddenly, Kong calls out to Chloe, surprising her and prompting her to brighten up with a sweet smile. She asks if he needs anything. Noticing the box cutter still in her hand, Kong thinks she should probably put it away first. Getting to the point, Kong asks Chloe how Nox is doing. Caught off guard, Chloe pauses before informing him that Nox is currently in the Academy's medical ward. Kong remarks that it's unusual for someone to get injured in the subspace. Chloe replies that she hasn't actually visited Nox yet, so she doesn't know much, but mentions that she heard Nox was admitted despite having no visible injuries. She assures Kong that it should be fine and there's no need for him to worry. In his thoughts, Kong reflects that while it's true he defeated Nox, however, Kong doesn't believe that Nox is so weak as to be traumatized. He hopes that Nox isn't planning anything drastic. Kong then pats Chloe on the head, asking if she can tell him where Nox's room is, knowing this is the best way to handle her Yandra tendencies. In the present, Nox is stunned to see Kong sitting in his hospital room. Kong asks if he can eat the apple nearby, though he's already halfway through it. He then remarks on the wealth of the Auditor family for providing such a spacious room for one person. Surprised, Nox asks how Kong got into the ward, only to freeze when he sees Kong reaching for a knife. Nox wonders if Kong is there to finish what he started, but to his surprise, Kong merely picks up the knife and begins peeling the apple with impressive skill. Confused, Nox watches as Kong neatly slices the apple and places it on the table for him. Before leaving, Kong casually advises Nox that if he has trouble digesting regular food, he should stick to eating fruit. Frustrated, Nox thinks he could take down Kong right here and now by catching him off guard. However, Kong calmly warns Nox that if he even thinks about revenge, he himself will eliminate the entire Auditor family. Shocked and frightened, Nox collapses to the ground. Outside, Kong reflects that Nox is now little more than a candle that could be snuffed out at any moment. It seems his will has been completely shattered. Kang's bold intimidation worked well, especially considering that the Auditor family is one of the world's most formidable assassin groups. While Kong knows he couldn't take on an entire clan, he figures he could manage around 10 people in 30 seconds if necessary, though he'd rather avoid that scenario entirely. Looking up at the sky, Kong feels as though he's standing in the eye of a strange storm. He thinks that he's slowly getting accustomed to life in this world. As long as Nox doesn't stir up any more trouble, Kong no longer needs to worry about him. However, our boy has another issue to handle. The girl Kong most wants to avoid, Rachel. Kong has no intention of getting involved with her, as in the original game. Rachel approaches the main character first but is later attacked after the main heroine, Abel. Kong thinks he needs to take things slowly, especially with midterms approaching, for which he needs to be prepared. Checking his phone, Kong states that he's going to take this seriously, as a reward is a reward, and this time it's Murasame, a weapon he desperately needs to fight effectively for more than 30 seconds. Kong then schedules the midterm date on his phone. This test involves subduing a demonic monster in groups of 5, regardless of class. The Academy places heavy emphasis on teamwork, believing that while individual skill is important, trust in comrades is even more crucial on the battlefield. Although Kong finds this setup test annoying, he's fine with it as long as he finds the right teammates to carry him through. The monster featured in this test is a D-rank creature, the merman, a particularly foul-looking beast, even in the game. Now, Kong is about to see this monster face to face. Although our boy has worked with fish all his life, he feels uneasy about encountering this creature in real life. Kong muses that if these monsters were mermaids, at least they'd be easier on the eyes. Sitting on a bench, then he recalls that mermaids are considered demonic humans in this world and are part of the demon forces. Demonic humans are far more dangerous than demonic monsters, but thankfully, students only have to deal with the merman, sparing them from facing demonic humans. Kong reflects that it has already been a month since he arrived here, and he finds the nights in this world surprisingly peaceful. Speaking of peace, it has been 700 years since humans and demons swore a truce. However, just as human history isn't free from war, this world has also seen many conflicts, both large and small. For example, Yasmin, the commander of the 6th Legion, once claimed he would revive the commander of the 1st Legion, crossing the line of the armistice. After a week of battle, humanity emerged victorious, and the 7 heroes were born. Although 3 heroes fell, neither faction wished to escalate the conflict further, and peace has continued to this very day. Looking up at the sky, our boy reflects, so this is peace. The more Kong thinks about it, he wonders if Baylor Joaquin, the one who sealed the 1st Legion commander alone, was even human. Checking his phone calendar, Kong notes that humanity has only 3 years left until the 2nd Human-Demon War, where even the Demon King will be a fighter. Our boy realizes that worrying about this won't change anything. Instead, he should focus on his midterms. However, he finds it irritating since he still needs to find teammates, and he has no friends at all. Just then, Kong realizes he's now the most famous student at the academy. If I can use this to my advantage, he thinks, won't that solve the problem? Living quietly for 3 years seems impossible anyway, so Kong intends to form a strong group and ace his midterms. Kong shifts his goals from living comfortably and quietly to living comfortably, even if it means not staying under the radar. A week later, in the classroom, the instructor asks the students to form groups for their exam, but to Kang's surprise, not a single student invites him to join their group. Kong thinks this is bad. He wonders if the other students are still afraid of him after the duel. Looking back, Kong notices Chloe is also alone. He realizes she's in a similar position, having been regarded as an outsider since that incident. Approaching her, Kong asks if she hasn't found any cadets to partner with. Chloe confirms that she's still alone. Concerned, Kong inquires if she's okay, mentioning that he's used to this, but she used to have friends. Chloe assures him that she's fine, thinking to herself that as long as she's with Kong, she'll be okay. Kong then suggests that, in that case, she can partner up with him, though he still needs to find 3 more people. Smiling, Chloe agrees with him. In his mind, our boy thinks that Chloe's capabilities are nothing to underestimate. The goal of the test is to capture as many mermen as possible within the 1-hour time limit, and given that Kong only has about 30 seconds, Chloe is like 1,000 soldiers to him. Smiling, Chloe says she's excited, and Kong notes that she seems genuinely happy. Suddenly, to Kang's shock, Rachel comes running in, telling him, "Let's play." Frustrated, Kong asks Rachel why she's here again. Rachel replies that she just told him. Meanwhile, Chloe's expression shifts as she goes into Yandere mode, ready to confront Rachel. Kong quickly realizes he can't let this situation spiral out of control. He tells Rachel to leave, just for today, as he has other things to take care of. Rachel responds, asking why her Kong is being so cold to her, to which Kong firmly tells her to stop calling him her Kong and to leave the classroom. Ignoring him, Rachel then asks if Kong has a group for the test. In his mind, Kong sighs, thinking that Rachel never listens to what people tell her. Frustrated, he replies that he hasn't found a group yet. Excited by this, Rachel invites Kong to join her group,